Again, I'm reporting this for the first time, perhaps, to the world that this is behind the decision. And your concerns, totally valid, totally 100% valid, supported by half of the of the team that arrived, all high ranking, were eventually set aside by the supreme leader, only by the supreme leader, on the council of Shahbaz Sharif, Asim Munir, the field marshal, because they were directly being told that this is the deal supported by Xi Jinping, directly by him.
Welcome again to Transition Protocols, hosted by Zulfiqar Ali and myself, Larry Johnson. We are here to talk about some of the latest developments in the world of geopolitics, and particularly focusing on what is taking place or supposed to take place between Iran and the United States in the next 5 days. Z-Man, take it away.
Well, I must blow our horn for the purposes of historical accuracy. A very reliable contact from Pakistan, and I was told that a major earthquake is about to happen. And that earthquake had to do with the announcement that was made yesterday by President Trump, which is that they have reached a deal and the Strait of Hormuz is going to be open for all traffic without any tolls. And the United States and Iran are going to enter into a period of 60 days of intense direct negotiations mediated by Pakistan that will eventually resolve all outstanding issues and that will get Iran out of the isolation that it has been in for the last 50 odd years, return maybe $24 billion worth of Iranian funds that have been frozen in various banks, and allow the world commerce to resume very, very quickly. So even though I was on the way to surgery, I begged you and Pepe, and you were very kind, and Pepe was also very kind to agree for a recording that we did that day. And it was announced by us on this platform to the world that this is about to happen. Now, I must note that you were very skeptical that this is going to come to pass. And so was Pepe. But it has so far come to pass.
Well, yeah,
I give it back to you.
I wouldn't be doing the victory dance just yet, because
Yes.
well, number one, source said it was going to be the Islamabad Accord, right? Well, it's not the Islamabad Accord; it's the Geneva Accord. Okay, so
Correct. Correct.
so that's
Correct.
just an illustration of as reliable as the source is, and I have no doubt about that, and as well placed and well informed as they are, they're only a piece of the puzzle. They're not controlling it. They are part of the process. And frankly, the agreement wouldn't have been signed or announced yesterday were it not for the actions of Bibi Netanyahu. If Netanyahu had not attacked southern Beirut, this thing would still be in negotiation, because the United States and Iran were still very far apart. And the two things that Iran insisted on that be put in immediately was, one, getting the money up front, two, that they don't have to wait 30 days to do a toll, or that they get to charge fees for the use of the Strait of Hormuz right now. And then the third element is the immediate end, permanent end of the conflict in Lebanon with Israel. Those are still up in the air, my friend. There is no certainty that those will actually be settled by Friday, despite the hope and the pressure of all the parties involved, at least with Pakistan's involvement and with what Iran wants to do. But we never underestimate the power of the Zionist lobby. They're the ones who are interfering.
Well, Larry, I absolutely, completely, totally agree with everything that you said, and I would be foolish not to do so because that is the reality. But I do want to emphasize to our global audience, and we thankfully now have a global audience, thanks to yourself and to Pepe, because you people are trusted all over the world. And great benefit that you provide to us is provide the voice that some people uh, trust us with all over the world as a voice reflecting the reality as they know it. And that is the important part, the reality as they know it, not propaganda, not corporate pressure, not political agenda, but the reality
Right.
as it is being shaped. So now, my small part in all of this is that I have been entrusted by the sources who bring this information to me, uh, without any benefit to them at all, other than that it would be relayed exactly the way that they have relayed to me. Is that Foreign Minister Arakchi was in Islamabad over the weekend. I don't think this is well known. And he was in consultation, constant consultation, with Foreign Minister of Pakistan, who's also the Deputy Prime Minister, with the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Shehbaz Sharif, with Asim Munir. And all of them, I have been told, are going to be in Geneva with with the signing that is going to take place. Now, again, the information that has come to me, which I have relayed to you, and which we wish to relate to the rest of the world, is that Iran, with the backing of Pakistan, with the very strong backing of China behind Pakistan, and Russia's backing, have communicated to Mr. Trump repeatedly, that they are well aware that who the spoiler is going to be.
Right.
And they have been told, and Mr. Trump has been told, that if that comes to pass, then he ought to step aside. Let them deal with Israel by themselves. And they feel very confident that they're capable of doing so. So, in my view, from everything that I hear, Larry, I mean, obviously, my job is to relay accurately, faithfully what I hear.
Right.
From everything that I hear, Iran is treating this as a major victory, and unknown to the rest of the world, I believe as of right now, they plan to have on the 10th day of Muharram, the Muslim calendar, which is going to start very soon, not started yet. They are going to have a major ceremony, not a celebration, because that is a day of the martyrdom of the greatest saint of Shia religion, sect of Islam, which is the martyrdom of the grand son of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That on that day they will have a very significant event that they have planned, which is to remove the body of Ali Khamenei and move it, reintern it to a place that is revered in Shia Islam in Mashhad.
Right.
They believe this is going to be a turning point, and they believe that this will, in fact, bring Iran back into the fold of global nations. It's a very big event.
Right. I believe that date is for Western calendars around the 25th of June. So,
Yes,
uh,
around that, and they have made all the preparations, as far as I know, and they made a solemn pledge at the start of all of this, the decapitation that took place, that this is what they were going to do once Israel and the United States were defeated, and to their mind, that day has come to pass.
now, no, I give them credit that, 3 weeks ago when we started talking about this, nobody was anticipating even the possibility of some agreement between the United States and Iran. So, clearly this was their information was not inconsequential. It was quite important, and you were not at all overselling what was taking place. The state we're at now, though, is this is this is at best a promise, and it is a promise that can be easily broken by either side, though it will not be Iran who breaks the promise. To have a mutual accord without it being ratified and treated as a treaty between two countries, as well as submitted to the United Nations Security Council as a binding agreement that would alleviate Iran of all the previous UN sanctions, is a step that still remains to be taken. And I note that there are still we have yet to see the written agreement from the U.S. side and to compare it with the written agreement or the declarations from the Iranian side. And I think that is critical, because one of the reasons they're not showing those right now is because significant differences do remain that they have not yet resolved, but they're still going ahead and talking about meeting in Geneva. Do you have any insight why this is being done in Geneva and not Islamabad?
I was told, again, as early as this morning, that it was on the insistence of the United States. They did not. They wanted to not provide as much credit to the global South being the primary source, the primary force for the agreement, and it was the insistence of the American side, led by Vance, that it ought to be done in Geneva. At which point there was a lot of discussion, from what I've been told, a lot of discussion, because Rakshi insisted that Pakistan be given due credit, and I think he has done that in his statements, various statements. But then the Pakistani side, from what I understand, Shahbaz Sharif said, "Forget about it. Let's just do it in Geneva. Let's just get it done." But Pakistan is solidly standing right beside Iran, and Iran is acknowledging that. Pakistan, I must say to our audience, for their understanding, is going to be a heavyweight as this thing moves forward. Uh, from everything that I've been told, which is something that I have a responsibility to tell to the world, is that Pakistan has been the primary force that has brought together the various factions, starting with Saudi Arabia, starting with the deal that was done by China that had become that was no longer effective. China, you might remember, brought Tehran and Riyadh together. This was about 6 months ago, but that fractured. So Pakistan put that back together. Pakistan put back the relationship between Qatar and Iran, between Oman and Iran, and now they are working on the UAE. And from everything that I understand, UAE is coming closer and closer to embracing this relationship. They have already transferred over $2 billion to Iran that was being held in UAE banks. Big deal. I mean, we are so jaded by everything bad that has happened, Larry. I must say that we don't give credit to the significant earthquake that has taken place already. I mean, but for the fact that the United States attacked Iran and Israel attacked Iran, we would not be here.
No, that's true. But we've got to look at has Israel withdrawn troops from Lebanon yet? No, and that's one of the conditions of this agreement. Or let me put it this way: the agreement, as it reads, says an immediate and permanent end to the conflict. Now, and again, this gets to what I'll call the sloppiness of the negotiation, because it should have been specified quite clearly This means withdrawal of Israeli forces from Lebanon and from Gaza. But they didn't go that route. Similarly, there's other language when you get into it that, frankly, I can understand why there are critics inside Iran not very happy with this because the language is going to be exploited by the West, and Iran will only have itself to blame. So, example, the second component is Iran considers access to its assets a legal right and continues to firmly demand compensation for this unlawful war. What? No, no. Iran demands the immediate release of $300 billion of its assets that were stolen by the West. So I mean, that's the difference between being specific and then, going into what I'll call some of this diplomatic gobbledygook. It doesn't. It leaves so. Oh yeah, you feel obliged to it, but tough luck. You don't get it.
But Larry, please try to understand that either it was this or nothing.
It's better. No, it's not. I disagree with that strongly. It wasn't this or nothing. It was this, or Iran was going to continue the offensive and continue to completely shut down the Strait of Hormuz, or to engage to get the United States to back off. Iran was not in a weak position. Iran was in the strongest position it's ever been.
Absolutely right.
And so once again, Iran is surrendering at a time when it should be advancing, in my view.
I totally agree. I completely and 100% agree. And I should report to the entire audience that is watching this program that at least half of the contingent that descended upon Islamabad were firmly of the exact view that you just advocated. They did not want this deal, and they were unhappy that this deal took place in the manner in which it has taken place. And they will be raising these voices. And the supreme leader, Mujtaba Khamenei, has said that they should be allowed to raise this voice. But I mean, this is, again, I'm reporting this to you. He pledges that their concerns will be realized sooner or later. He's committed to that.
Yeah, you just got to ask, how many times does Iran have to be betrayed before it figures out? I mean, frankly, it's worse than Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown,
Yes.
he keeps trying to kick a football, and Lucy keeps pulling it away.
Yes. So the decision was made by Mujtaba Khamenei that he was going to take this deal. And we did announce that on Friday. Remember, we did say that.
Yes.
That it has been blessed by him, and he wants to go forward. So now, for putting it in context, all right, putting everything in context. Obviously, without context means nothing. Please understand that Iran did not arrive at this decision only by the decision of the supreme leader. Iran arrived at this decision by the direct intervention of China. Very, very strong pressure placed by China through Pakistan. And it was their decision, their view that this deal needs to be had. Again, I mean, I'm reporting this for the first time, perhaps, to the world that this is behind the decision. And your concerns, totally valid, totally 100% valid, supported by half of the of the team that arrived, all high-ranking, were eventually set aside by the supreme leader, only by the supreme leader, on the council of Shahbaz Sharif, Asim Munir, the field marshal, because they were directly being told that this is the deal supported by Xi Jinping, directly by him. It's a piece of evidence, intelligence that is not known to the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this will be egg on the face of Xi Jinping when this collapses, because it will collapse. There is, to have an agreement, and I'll put it in terms of marriage. If you say, okay, we're going to get married, we're going to be in a monogamous relationship, and you will only be with me, and I will only be with you, and then second week of our marriage, you're out running around with uh, three different women. Well, wait a second. What happened to our original pledge? Now, in this case, uh, just like what happened to Iran with the JCPOA, they were promised sanction relief. Did they get sanction relief? No. They got more sanctions. So, in this case, uh, it um, if Iran relinquishes control of the Strait of Hormuz and does not proceed to charge a fee for a usage fee, uh, then this will all have been for naught, in my view.
And that might come to pass, Larry. But what do you do when your main supporter tells you, "Well, you got to take this deal"?
Well, then you tell your main supporter, you may not. We don't need to be in a relationship. I mean, yeah, and in that case, you have to make a choice. You're asking me to die. You're asking me to commit suicide. I mean that. I mean, really, if China really put that kind of pressure on Iran, it's shameful.
Not only China, but also Russia.
Yeah. Well, then they're going to reap what they sow. The United States has got to be stopped. It is like a voracious predator, and every time it is appeased, it simply moves forward and grabs more. This is not, the United States. Now, this is not a great success for the United States either by any stretch, and again, we'll see if the real test will come by Friday. Is Israel withdrawn from Lebanon, and have they stopped the killing or not? If not, then I anticipate that Iran will restart the conflict.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely. Again, I can report that from everybody that I speak with, who gives me firsthand information that is reliable, has been proven reliable, has been proven accurate. They say that they are so determined to make that happen that they are willing to walk away.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, another piece of information, Larry, for our audiences, for yourself, is that Iran has received some very significant ballistic missiles from China, and they are deadly, really, really deadly. And a deal was struck at the time that if
Well,
this,
could I stop you there?
sure, absolutely.
How do we know they're deadly? Have they been used in combat?
I believe they have been. Some of them have been used in combat recently to devastating impact.
Yeah, I mean, used by Iran.
Used by Iran.
Okay.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, I'd say
Uh,
if they've been used by Iran in an engagement, then that
yes.
counts.
Yes.
But China, other than that, China has not.
Of course.
They've got a lot of untested equipment, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, but this one was given to Iran, again a piece of inside intelligence, and the deal was made that here you have a large arsenal of these missiles. You can hit any place in Israel. You can hit any base that surrounds you. But when the opportunity arrives and we tell you to step forward and make a deal, make a deal. And you do that, and this keeps coming. So, on the one hand, everything that you say, I absolutely agree with, and half of the contingent that came to Pakistan, Islamabad, stood very firmly on that side, saying that we ought not to step back right now. We ought to go all the way. On the other hand, their main supporter, who was giving them the ability to fight, was saying, we want you to make this deal, provided these conditions are offered to you. And if they are, take the deal, and you have all of this very, very effective capability to fight back in case they renege again one more time.
Mm-hmm.
And Pakistan was right behind that. Pakistan has big experience with that. You might recall that is exactly what happened with Pakistan in their fight against India in the Operation Sindoor. And all of those missiles PL-15s proved extraordinarily effective. So this is the context, Larry, that I believe nobody else has. This is the inside context.
Yes.
And as you know, I mean, you know better than anybody, when you have a relationship as complex as presently exists between Iran, China, Pakistan, and Russia, where you are literally relying upon the bigger powers, China and Russia, to give you the support that you need to move on, to keep fighting, really tough to say no to them.
Right.
And I say this because I have heard it directly from the people who sat at the table where all of this took place. And that's an extraordinary privilege that I have. That's an extraordinary privilege that I keep very sacred and bring to you and bring to the rest of the world. And I'm thankful to you, grateful to you for allowing me to do that with your voice.
Well, and the fact that if if any of the Chinese missiles were used, and this would be a good question to get answered, in the last two strikes, the ones that were done last Wednesday and Tuesday by Iran, if they used Chinese missiles in those strikes, they were very effective strikes. So that would be an important piece of information to know that, in fact, the Chinese have the technology that until now has been. It looks good on paper, but until you use it on the field, you don't know what you have. So if Iran has been able to use this Chinese technology and use it effectively, then that is an important piece of news.
Very important piece of news. And I can say to you with absolute confidence, because I heard it from the man himself, that not only was it Chinese, it was Pakistani technicians telling them exactly how to use it because they have experience with all of that.
Yeah, because
Pakistan has more experience with the Chinese equipment than almost anybody.
now the White House is claiming today that they have signed electronically this memorandum of understanding.
Correct. And that would be consistent with what I know. That will
So,
be totally consistent with what I know. And also, there is going to be another signing pretty soon, Friday, in
yeah,
Geneva.
I guess I'm, still puzzled by um, all of this ceremony and formality surrounding something that is meaningless. It has no legal standing. It has there's no legal unlike a treaty where you sign a treaty and the treaty is enacted in this case by the United States Senate. Then in this case, if Iran had signed that treaty, it could sue the United States government in court. There would be potential damages because it's a legally obligated. There are legal obligations attending that document. Uh, Memorandum of understanding. zero. Uh, it has zero standing within the court system or within the legal system. It's up to the quote the goodwill. And when you watch the behavior of Donald Trump, as erratic as he is, as volatile as his temperament has become, yeah, I wouldn't want to have to bet a lot of money on that guy to be coherent.
Totally agreed. Accurate description of everything that you're saying. And again, I think the context is important, that they were Iranians were given the option of taking this deal and continuing to have almost unlimited support, almost unlimited support from China first, Russia next, and with Pakistan being a facilitator on the side.
Right.
So Moshtaba, as well as Arakchi and Galeba, said, let's roll the dice. Basically, that's where this came down. Let's roll the dice. So they are at a place where they have rolled the dice. Now, everybody knows what Netanyahu is going to do. From what I've been told, if Netanyahu continues with this, Iran has resolved that it is going to strike Netanyahu big, bigly, in a very big way.
Right.
And China has said they will support all of that. So let us see what happens. But it is unquestionably a very major geopolitical event and a big geopolitical realignment. Larry, would you not agree?
Uh, no, it is a geopolitical realignment, but the key is it has to be followed through on. And until we see the actually, what I see here is two different paths. The path towards developing let's call it the Gulf Security Council. In other words, a security arrangement comprised of the Gulf countries, particularly Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Iran, along with Turkey, and then outside supporters, Egypt and Pakistan. That I see moving forward, regardless of what happens with this bilateral deal between the United States and Iran. But if the deal contemplated holds up, and the other facet continues, then the United States will find itself basically being shut out of the Persian Gulf, which will be consequential.
That is, I'm glad that you brought that up. My information is that this particular deal was also strongly supported by Erdogan, by Sisi of Egypt, and Qatar, and they all supported China position that Iran needs to move forward. And Pakistan is trusted by everybody as a facilitator in all of this. So I I stand on the option of exercised by Mustafa Khamenei, that with everybody saying we ought to give this an opportunity to succeed, and that's where we are.
Right.
And failing which, they are not going to go away. They are not going to allow Netanyahu to be a bully.
Yep. No.
So
Well, it's not just Netanyahu; it is the entire country of Israel,
yes,
the majority of the people, because
well, the Jewish lobby, let's say, a
yeah,
Zionist lobby.
well, Zionist lobby here in the United States, but the Zionist domination that takes place in Israel right now.
Yes.
If Bibi goes away, the animosity towards the Palestinians doesn't. But it'll give us something to talk about on Wednesday when we
Yeah.
reconvene uh, this this issue of protocols. So the transition protocols, because we are in transition and a new infrastructure is being developed. You will. We do want to encourage everybody watching to hit the like and subscribe button to build the audience. Also, you tune in tomorrow that Zulfiqar will be conversing with our colleague Pepe Escobar along the same topic to see what new developments in the last 24 hours will have occurred.
Well, we expect developments to take place almost every day because this is a geopolitical realignment of tectonic magnitude and significance, and we will bring you information that does not exist anywhere else because we have been privileged to get this information from people who sit at the table where the decisions are being made. And I wish to thank my dear friend and brother Larry for being the voice of this channel and being the person who brings this to the rest of the world. So thank you very much, Larry. And to my audience, please hit the subscribe and like button. We appreciate it very much. This is how we will grow. And we shall see you again tomorrow with our very, very strong correspondent all over the world, Pepe Escobar. Thank you very much for showing up today. So, Larry, I'm going to hit the stop
Yep,
and
yep,
then just allow this to, to do what it does.
yep,
All
yep.
right.
The normal deal. Let it get
Okay.
uploaded.